Hi everybody, welcome to the Heel Heat TNA and More show. My name is George Coles and this is my tag team partner Tyler Rex.
Gary Rhodes is the name. What the hell this guy is, I don't know.
Anyway, before we get off on talk about the TNA show, the first thing I want to talk about, as you can see, I got my order from Ring of Honor Wrestling. On the point, on ball, got it from me. I ordered it Friday. It arrived yesterday, so what's that, a 5-day turnaround?
Which brings me to my point. Barbershop window. I've ordered my t-shirt, how long ago? Over a month?
Over a month. A month and 3 days ago.
And still no shirt. Nothing. No, hey, sorry for the shirt being late, nothing at all. So we made a complaint to PayPal, and they're going to try to rectify the situation. So now I might have to wait another 20 days to either get my money back or a shirt.
And, you know, we're just putting this out there. Be leery of these guys because, you know, it's a mom and pop shop. I don't want to bury them because they are a mom and pop shop. But still, if you just have a product, you should send a product in a reasonable amount of time. I think a month is more
fairly reasonable. Well, they supposedly shipped it out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know, it's Bush League. You know, I personally, if I get the shirt, I'll be happy, but I'll never get nothing from them again.
No. They burned the bridge with at least 2 people that are fans. But, you know, just want to get that off the out of the way first and foremost for you guys. And we're not telling you not to order from them. If you guys have had good experiences with them, more power to you. Order from all you want. This is just our experience. We're giving you an opinion as consumers, because if you like this show, chances are you wear wrestling t-shirts, and chances are if you like wrestling t-shirts, you'll like some of the stuff they do, because some of the shit they do is pretty goddamn funny.
No, they are, and that's why I really wanted the shirt. You know, it's an oddball shirt. Something you can't really find at, like at most websites. You know, it was a tailor-made shirt, which is fine. I can understand sometimes it will take a little longer.
Right.
But call a consumer up, leave me an email, something. Just, you leave people in the dark. That's why you'll stay in a mom and pop company or close.
Exactly. And now that we're done with that part of the show, let's go right into our TNA Impact show of the week. You had the tag team match to start off the show. It was, first of all, it's open fight night, so you could call out anybody you want as the gimmick for the night. Angle and AJ Styles came out and they called out Chavo and Hernandez.
It was solid, and the fans booing Chavo the whole match is really, I don't know what to say about it. I'm not a Chavo mark, but I mean, he's not a bad worker.
No, he definitely isn't. And the match itself was good. I kind of liked the ending with Daniels and Kaz coming out, and ended up Hogan coming out and making a 3-way dance at the pay-per-view.
But wasn't this the same thing that built up for, was it SummerSlam for a 3-way for their WWE Championship?
It's similar. Well, I mean, it's a gimmick that wrestling's used over and over again to build 3-way matches.
Yeah, but you don't want to do something so close to your competition. That was my only. I figured they were going to do a 3-way anyways. They should have just did it like that.
Yeah, I mean, overall it was a decent match. Kaz and Daniels came out and cheated at the end, keeping them as heels, which they're tremendous heels, I think, personally.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Then you had the gut check segment of the night. An 18-year-old kid, and the reason I know this is they said he was 18 about 700 times.
Was he 18?
Exactly. Evan Markopoulos against Doug
I like
Williams.
the mark in the beginning of it. It's got to be a setup name.
Yeah, that might be his real name.
But it's pretty cool, I mean, I'm not talking trash about it.
And he fought Doug Williams, a real solid vet. Out of the guys that are in gut check, he's been one of the ones I've liked more. I've liked him more than the Sam Shaw kid. Who was the other kid the last time that was came in out of shape and blew up?
Peruse or I don't know. He'll never be on top.
But I like this kid. He has some potential. Being 18 years old, he's someone that they could bring in and build on, kind of like what WWE wanted to do with Kenny Doane, but issues with Kenny Doane and Cena and whatever dirt sheet you want to believe about that.
I think they're going further back. I think they're kind of doing like a 1-2-3 kid aspect. What would have been better is have the kid beat Doug. It would have been, the match, the 3 count heard around the world, or whatever.
Yeah, it was a decent match. He put out a solid outing. I would not be surprised if he gets a contract. Like I said, he kind of impressed me with what he did.
He has great skill. He got good with the fans. He don't have the size yet, which, really nowadays the size doesn't really matter.
And he's 18, so, I mean, look at, like you said, Pac when he came in. Pac was real small, and he eventually built up to what he looks like now, which, he's not huge, but he's not no smaller than Shawn Michaels.
No. Well, I guess the thing with Sean Waltman is he is actually a pretty tall kid.
Yeah. Well, and that with TNA, it's not, I mean they don't really got that many guys that are huge there. They got Hernandez, Abyss, Bully Ray, and
throw Bully Ray in there, didn't you?
Well, I'm saying just the huge guys. So he doesn't look out of place. I mean, he's not that much smaller than Jeff Hardy, or he's not that much smaller than Austin Aries.
No, like I said, he'll fit. He'll grow into it. I hope that the gut check gets passed, or the kid gets past gut check, and actually starts wrestling on TV, because I haven't seen none of the gut check people wrestle on television after they got their okay.
Oh, the only one that's come back is
the porn star kid,
Joey Ryan.
Yeah,
and he's the one I've liked the best.
Oh yeah.
And then you had the next thing. James Storm came out, called out Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode came out, said he wasn't answering the challenge. Hulk Hogan forced him to come out, and they basically had a brawl all over the Impact Zone.
Bobby Roode played your stereotypical rich guy heel, and he did good at it. That's something that Bobby Roode, I tell you what, he's the future of wrestling. I'm firmly behind him and his character work, and they're doing a good job by keeping him away from the belt to let Aries and Hardy work this out for the pay-per-view. He'll be in a title picture afterwards, I'm pretty sure.
He'll eventually get back up there. I mean, unless they decide to bury him like they've done with Joe in the past.
It'd be stupid to bury him. It was stupid to bury Joe, and I think they learned from their mistakes.
And the next thing I kind of want to talk about, again, Hogan was out in that segment. Hogan was on pretty much every segment.
Oh gosh.
I think I can't remember. The last segment's the only one he wasn't on. He was coming out talking, with everybody. We get it, you're the GM, but we don't need to see every single segment.
We don't need to see every segment. We don't need to see the pyro every time you step out.
No.
And carrying a baseball bat, really,
you're not Sting.
Exactly.
That's Sting's gimmick.
It is. You're hogging these kids' limelight.
Exactly.
Hogan probably wasted a good 20 minutes at least of the show talking, which that's a match that two guys in the back that have probably worked in forever could have.
Well, they could have cut it down. They had the backstage segments with him talking to Joseph Park on the phone, talking to Aces and Eights on the phone, coming out to the ring to talk to Aces and Eights.
See right there, that could have just been the three times he showed up. He showed up at least 6 times.
Yeah, he showed up with the Tara match. He showed up, or not the Tara match, but the Tara segment. Mm-hmm. He showed up on the Bobby Roode segment. He showed up on the Daniels and Kazarian segment.
So, in my eyes, of the 3 general managers in wrestling right now on the 2 main shows, Hogan is the most annoying, and that's saying a lot because AJ is starting to annoy the shit out of me.
Yeah, I think Booker's the best out of the 3, but Hogan, they need to dial it back. We understand that you're trying to use Hogan for his name, but show him twice.
Exactly.
That's all you need.
You got plenty of young talent, and that's TNA's problem. They've always had the talent, but they never had the right way to show it.
Yeah.
Now you have a good live show, and the live shows was announced right now that they are on till when?
Till the end, at least the end of this year, which is really good because initially they were going with till the end of the summer. So obviously it's working in TNA and Spike's mind to keep it going live, which I like. I love the live show format a lot better personally. It's the reason I like Raw as a show better than SmackDown as a show because I don't really know what's going to happen.
The thing is, a while back when Hogan first came in, they were running them went ahead and tried to run head-to-head on Monday nights. If they would have stayed live both shows, they might have had a better chance than going live and taped. And the thing they should have done is start at 8 o'clock and at least got that extra hour of jump ratings that Bischoff did when he was at WCW. But now that Raw's a 3-hour show, it's hard to do that. But that would have been a good lead-in.
And speaking of Hogan, our question of the week last week is what was the worst Hulk Hogan moment so far. Now, we got an answer from one of our fans, Paul over from the Deadly Sins. He said the worst Hogan moment was him signing with TNA. I'd have to agree because he was more hype, and I guarantee he's more money than he's worth. I guarantee they're paying him more than he changes a ratings needle. I mean, a guy like Jeff Hardy and Kurt Angle do more for the ratings jump than Hulk Hogan does, and he's probably making the same amount as they are.
Oh, at least.
If not more. Probably more, to be honest with you. What was your...
Okay, mine, I would have to say, was after his prime, him and Shawn had the match at SummerSlam. Hogan's ego got in the way. It was supposed to be face versus face, just to see who's going to be the better man. Then they turned Shawn heel.
Which didn't work at all.
No. I mean, Shawn
Michaels.
For Shawn. I mean,
for those that don't know.
Yeah. And Shawn did great work as being a heel because that's Shawn. I mean, Shawn can be... Shawn, when he wants to be, can be the best heel in the business.
Exactly.
You know, religious thing or not. And he didn't bust any of that to be the bad guy. He just went ahead and made fun of Hulk and ridiculed him.
But the fans didn't even buy it, though. The fans didn't buy into him as a heel.
The day after SummerSlam, he was top babyface again.
Yeah.
What they should have done there was just let them two go at it face to face and let Shawn get over. Not hit the big boot. That's why Shawn oversold it. That's why Hogan's pissed at Shawn. Shawn oversold the move, but Shawn was pissed. But Shawn did what he was asked to do, and he let Hogan get over. And that was wrong.
And you know what I think, it's a little bit further back to Starrcade 1997. If you guys remember, it was a match that was built up for about a year and a half. Sting chasing the NWO, Sting being the guy that's going to fight for WCW, finally gets a chance to wrestle Hogan at Starrcade, and it ends up in a shitty ending. They said it was a fast count with Hogan, or with Sting, no, Hogan pinning Sting. They said it was a fast count, which it really wasn't. It was a normal count.
Exactly.
And then Bret came out saying no one's going to get screwed. It ended up putting a sour taste in the mouth, and it was one of the things that I think ended up killing WCW, and I think that was all due to Hogan. Sting should have went over cleanly. That's what the build was for. I mean, they built it all along that Sting's going to be equal, if not better than Hogan. I mean, he did win, but he didn't win clean, and that kind of took away from it from the in the fans' point of view. From my point of view, I was let down. I started watching Raw more than WCW, which at the time it was about 50-50. And most fans were like that at the time. It was, you watched whichever show had you liked the wrestler on better. If Foley was on Raw, you watched Raw. If Scott Hall was on Nitro, you watched Nitro. If Austin was on Raw, you watched Raw. If the NWO was on Nitro, you watched Nitro. And you would switch back and forth depending on the segment that was on. But I think, to me, this is where a lot of fans jumped off and jumped onto the WWE bandwagon and jumped on Austin 316.
Yeah, and I'll agree with you on that one. And who knows if it went clean, if they would have had a lot more momentum coming in, and then maybe still have two shows on.
Exactly, and like 3 months later, Sting's in the NWO. So the whole thing was a big...
Oh, then Bret Hart was there too.
Yeah, you know, a whole ball of bullshit that... The WCW for the last 2-3 years was just a ball of bullshit anyway, and you all knew that.
Yeah. You know, the thing is with Hogan is whenever he has creative control over anything, it turns to shit.
Yeah.
And like right now, his whole creative control in TNA is mostly all an act.
Yeah.
You know, it's not really Hogan running it. They have writers and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But I mean, that's Hogan's main problem is his ego.
Exactly. And you know, that now our question for the week next week is, we got Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, the Hardy Boys. Which of the two Hardy brothers do you think is a better wrestler? Or do you like better, basically? They don't have to necessarily be the better wrestler. Who do you like better? Do you like Jeff better? Or do you like Hardy better? Or Jeff or Matt better? Exactly. Which Hardy is the better of the two?
I guarantee the winner's going to be last name Hardy.
Exactly.
Oh.
But let us know what you think. Hit us up on Twitter. Put it on our Facebook. Post it down where?
Down there.
It's his spot every week. I got to let him hit it or else he just
gets
nothing.
Home run, baby. It's a home run every time. Anyways, then we went back to the Tara segment, which she challenged Christy Hemme for her open fight night challenge, which was a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, and they just bullied Christy Hemme. Tara is not a good speaker at all, and they gave her way too much time on the mic.
Tara's an ass kicker.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You love that line, don't you?
She's not an entertainer. She's an ass kicker. Well, she was. I mean, they built her up back in her day as a legitimate ass kicker.
I mean, Tara's good. She's really good in the ring. I didn't like the segment. Like I said, I think they let her talk too long. You give her 30 seconds to talk, that's fine. You let her go on for 20 minutes, 10 minutes, it's not as good. And then Tessmacher came out, made the babyface save. Tara ran away. Brooke Hogan, again another Hogan on the show, came out and said,
need to be there.
Came out and said to Tara, you're going to get repercussions next week.
Nick's going to start driving the boys around.
Oh my God. Too soon, GR. Too soon. But then after that, you had another Hogan segment, the Aces and Eights segment, where he came out and answered their challenge. Basically, said he's going to go to their clubhouse next week. Now, logically speaking, if these guys are jumping your boys and you know where their clubhouse is, wouldn't you just send the police over there and go, these guys are the guys that assaulted us?
You know what, brother? I'm going to do that next week.
Yeah. And you had Joseph Parks getting hit in the head with a hammer.
Wow.
And, not a bad segment altogether. At that point, I was tired of seeing Hogan on my show. So.
And that's it. You got 2 hours and 30 minutes of it's Hogan.
Yeah. And it's
just ridiculous.
It drew away from it, in my opinion. Then you had the Austin Aries, Jeff Hardy segments, where he told Jeff Hardy he was chasing him, that Jeff's not chasing Austin. And he said, I want to do what you've done. I want to be a Hall of Famer like you eventually will be, which I think he will. Jeff Hardy deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I'll give him that.
Actually, him and his brother both do.
Yeah, and tag team-wise, I think they should go.
And I would put them in together, personally. If you put them in separately, it's going to be harder for Matt to get in, but if you put them in together, their body work together, they deserve it.
Yeah.
They really do. I mean, they're a tremendous draw everywhere they've been.
Well, if it wasn't for them, who would your boys get over on?
The Edge and Christian.
No.
They're jobbers.
But anyway. Or who would my boys get over on? Exactly. Well, just the Dudleys, and they're just weird talk. Anyway,
then you had Aries coming out, and he said, I'm going to try and do what you did, and he called out Bully Ray, and it was an awesome segment with Bully Ray coming out. Are you calling me out?
I told 5 boys in the back. I asked him, who's he calling out?
Was that Bully Ray or John Travolta from Saturday Night Live?
Saturday Night Fever.
Whatever.
And a little bit of both. Okay. Just a little bit,
That's just because you got rubbed and tugged at your massage earlier, wasn't it?
Well, you're the one that gave it to me. Anyways, that was the other happy ending today was, Bully Ray did get over on Austin at the end of the match.
He got over using the chain to hit him after after Earl Hebner referee bump, which, Earl's probably the most bumped referee in the history of referees.
I'll tell you. I wonder how many matches Earl's called.
Probably thousands.
I mean, you gotta figure.
If not hundreds of thousands.
Well, you figure back in
house shows,
NWA days.
Yeah. He's been a ref for what, 30 years at least. I mean, as long as I can remember, he's been there.
Do you think he's selling bootleg TNA merch out the back of the store?
I hope not. Where's he gonna go after that?
Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor.
You can't have bootleg Ring of Honor merch, then I don't get my Kill Steam Kill shirt.
Oh God. Another thing about the shirt.
Yeah. But anyway, it was a decent match overall. They've had better matches actually earlier in this year when they had the feud. Personally, I thought the one thing I really liked, though, I like, and I pointed out to you, Austin Aries has impeccable timing. He knows when to hit moves and when to not hit moves, and when to let the crowd build, and when to do a spot, and when to do a rest hold. And he sells the storyline perfectly. It's kind of like an older, like a Harley Race would sell it, in my opinion, except for he has more high-flying moves.
I'm high on Aries, and I'm not high on him like Jeff Hardy's high on Dope, but I mean, I like Aries. I think he's a phenomenal worker.
Yeah.
He's great with the fans, as far as if he's wanting to be heel, he can turn it on. If he's wanting to be babyface, he pretty much stays heel and people eat it up.
Exactly.
And
I think he's a real good worker, and it was a really good match with two of their better workers. This is what TNA should be highlighting: guys like Aries, Bully Ray, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Storm and Rude. Instead of Hulk Hogan, I want to see more of these guys on my show.
Well, you know what? Like I said, we wasted 30 minutes of watching Hogan. That could have been more of Daniels and Kaz, backstage segments at least. Something where guys are actually in the ring working. Because it's called wrestling, people, not called Hogan.
Exactly. But altogether, it was a decent show. I'm really stoked that they're going to keep it live for the rest of the year. I like that idea a lot. It makes a show more interesting for me.
I wonder what their ratings have jumped up since they've gone live.
It hasn't been a lot, but
it's a bump, right?
Yeah, it's a bump. It's a decent. I mean, it's not. They're not up. I think they're still getting like 1.1, 1.2 ratings, but it's any improvement's an improvement. But that's basically all we have to say.
You didn't even announce our heel of the week, George.
Well, it's obvious. It's Bully Ray. It's always Bully Ray. What TNA show hasn't it been Bully Ray? Bully Ray, heel of the week.
You know what? I would have said.
It's always Bully Ray.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
We'll give it Bully Ray this week.
He's every week. But anyway, that's pretty much all that we have for this show. And this has been our TNA show. I'm George Coles.
Gary Rhodes.
And we'll see you guys on the next video.